Hello everyone, welcome back to Mridul Talks. Today we are going to talk about a masterpiece comic book series that has a huge fan following in Europe and in a number of countries nowadays. As from the title, today's video is about the Adventures of Tintin comic book series, and today we are going to talk about its whole journey. And I know I was not active on this channel for 4 months. That's because I was working on 4 videos and that too got cancelled by me. So a lot of time in it was wasted. And also in September, my exams were there, so I had to study. But from today, I'll try my best to be active on this channel. Now without wasting time, let's get started. The Adventures of Tintin is a comic book series which consists of 24 comics. This series was created by a very famous cartoonist of Belgium known as Georges Remy, who is popularly known as Herge, which was his pen name. By 2007, Tintin comics have been published into more than 70 languages and more than 200 million copies of it have been sold. This series was started on 10 January 1929. Its first comic was published in a Belgian newspaper called Le Petit Vingt-et-un, which translates to the Little 20th. It was a younger version of the newspaper Le Vingt-et-un Siècle, which translates to the 20th century. Further in World War II, Tintin comics started to publish in Belgium's most popular newspaper called Le Soir, which translates to the evening newspaper. Later in 1946, Herge started his own publishing company called Studios Herge. This company was started publishing various Tintin comics in a separate magazine called Le Journal de Tintin. And slowly, the Tintin comics started becoming more and more popular in the world. But sadly, in 1983, Herge passed away, due to which Studios Herge company had suffered a lot and eventually got shut down. In 1986, the 24th comic book of Tintin, Tintin and the Elf Art, was released in Tintin magazine. It was actually an incomplete comic book, and it was revealed that before Herge died, he was working on that comic and he was not able to complete that. After that, another famous company, Egmont Books, bought the comic book rights of Tintin and started republishing the comics of Tintin separately. Now let's talk about the characters of this comic series. First, let's start with our main protagonist, Tintin. In comics, Tintin is a young reporter of Belgium and also an adventurer. He often gets involved in dangerous cases, which turn into adventures for him. In almost every comic, Tintin and his dog Snowy travel to various countries and places. Like in Tintin in America comic, Tintin visits America for the first time. Fans have described Tintin as an intelligent and a creative character in the comics. And since we are talking about Tintin, let's talk about Snowy. Snowy is the pet dog of Tintin and he loves him a lot. Snowy belongs to a special type of breed of dogs called White Wire Fox Terrier. And whenever Tintin is in trouble, Snowy is always there to help him. The next character is Captain Haddock. Captain Haddock is a marine sea captain and also Tintin's best friend. This character was introduced in Tintin's 9th comic, The Crab with the Golden Claws. In comics, Captain Haddock is a weak and aggressive character. He often gets very much angry at certain situations. He also uses some terms to express his feelings like billions of bilious blue blistering barnacles or 10,000 thundering typhoons. Our next character is Professor Calculus. He's a scientist who is absent-minded and partially deaf. This character was introduced in the comic Red Rackham's Treasure, and this is based on a real-life scientist known as Auguste Piccard. Now let's talk about Tintin's adaptation in cinema. Due to the huge popularity of Tintin comics, in 1947, the first ever movie based on Tintin comics was released, which was The Crab with the Golden Claws. This movie was a stop-motion puppet production. Then in 1961, the first ever live-action Tintin movie was released, which was Tintin and the Golden Fleece. 3 years later, in 1964, the second live-action Tintin movie was released, which was Tintin and the Blue Oranges. The first ever animated movie of Tintin was released in 1969, which was Tintin and the Temple of Sun. The second animated Tintin movie, The Tintin and the Lake of Sharks, was released in 1972. Then in 2011, The Adventures of Tintin, The Secret of the Unicorn movie was released. It was a 3D motion capture animated film directed by none other than Steven Spielberg. This movie received positive reviews and was a huge success at the box office. In video games also, Tintin has a huge popularity. In 1989, Tintin's first game, Tintin on the Moon, was released by Infuro Games Entertainment SA. The same company then released another Tintin game in 1995 titled Tintin in Tibet for Nintendo Switch. So this was my video about the Adventures of Tintin comic series, that how from publishing in a newspaper, it slowly became so much popular worldwide and also a masterpiece among the fans. Also, click on the subscribe button and also on the bell icon for more such informative content. So I'll see you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.